Hello, everyone. So you're welcome again to us tonight. Tonight is another night with our African author of the month, which is Sharon Fevrier. Fevrier. I got it right tonight. That is fantastic. That's perfect. So we are having another. This is our third night week, which we've been talking about nothing else but about the book Blossom Tree. So if there's anyone out there that was with us the first Thursday, second Thursday, and this is the third Thursday, and you have not been able to go and either check on the website and get to know a little bit about the book and grab one copy for yourself, start grabbing your gift for Christmas. This is the time to grab your gift for Christmas and wrapping it up and sending it out to people. Go and buy the Blossom Tree. The book is a book that you can buy for anyone, either male or female. It's a good read. It has a lot of content, a live experiences. It's fun. It's exciting. It's just everything. It's a full package in one, and you have to grab one of the copy and read. Go onto the website as well. We have the blogs. You can have so much content to it. So being the third week, we're going to be talking about mental health within relationship. That is what we're going to talk about. And it's all about the book, Blossom Tree. And it's also all about tonight's author of the month in person of Sharon Fevrier.
Hi, Suzanne.
How are you, Sharon?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to have you tonight again.
Thank you. And
So
thank you
let's
for
get to know you
me.
more. Let's get to know you
Oh,
more.
thank you so much for having me for this series.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying every conversation that we have.
So tell us more about you again. Let people get to know you more.
So my name is Sharon Fevrier. I am the author of Blossom Tree. So I wrote Blossom Tree and published on the 15th of March 2018. So it's my third year of being an author. I live in South London. I have a daughter. I work in special educational needs, and I have a visual impairment, and that's due to having sickle cell disease, which affects 15,000 people within the United Kingdom. So I wrote Blossom Tree, and I guess I was inspired to write Blossom Tree because not only did I want to prove that despite my visual impairment that I was able to produce a piece of work that people would enjoy, but it's also to uplift and motivate people and give people encouragement that may be going through something that need to have that inspiration. So I thought that there were many layers and many things that I could talk about within the book that people would feel inspired by. So those were the reasons I wrote Blossom Tree.
Yeah, that's just so beautiful. And I know we've been talking about it for the last 3 weeks, and we are delighted to have you to be our author for this month, whereby we have an opportunity to hear your story, for you to share your book with us and tell us about the content and what inspires you to write the book and what the whole book is all about. So it's good to be able to just sit back with you here and have this conversation. We've talked about relationship within when we have a relationship, and then we talk about life in general. There's so many things we've been talking about. We talk about sex in a relationship. We talk about what inspires you to put the book together. We talk about the experience of your key author, a key player within the book itself. We've talked about it.
We've talked about dating,
We talk
disaster.
about dating. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what we spoke about first week. Yeah, we talk about dating, which was so much interesting. Dating.
And
Yeah, we did.
how to keep the spice alive in
And how
relationships.
to keep this spice alive. How to keep this spice alive. That was the first thing we spoke about. Then we spoke about dating. Yeah, and I think that week was interesting. Just talking about what it is when, especially for there's a lot of people out there that is trying to go back into dating.
Yeah,
And since COVID, it's been very difficult for a lot of people to actually go on a date, because people are a bit distant away from each other.
that's right.
So, and so I'm hoping that since last time that we spoke, we might have few people that have just taken on the, like, okay, a brave step. So
Yeah.
tonight you're going to be sharing with us mental health within a relationship. So it's not just mental health generally, but it's about having a relationship together with someone and having someone within that relationship either experiencing mental health issue, how do they deal with it, or developing mental health while the relationship is on, either for a lot of reason. It could be personal issues, it could be relation issues related to the relationship itself could have caused that mental health because of abuse, either financial abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, could result to people within a relationship having problem. We've talked about that. So today we're going to really emphasize about, and this will be with regards to the book Blossom Tree, so that if people are thinking, wow, what am I going to learn from this book, what am I going to enjoy about reading this book, what is going to inspire me about this book, what's going to be different about this book, this is why we're doing this. And it's and I just tell us more about what that means to you and what that means in the content of Blossom Tree.
Well, we're in the month of Black History Month. So, we're celebrating um, all things Black. And of course, my main characters are Black. And us as Black people, we have illnesses and, diseases and disorders, just like everybody else does. But specifically, sickle cell disease predominantly affects people from the African Caribbean communities. And so I really wanted my main character, Chantel, to reflect somebody within our community. Um, what I found while I was writing the book, and the book has many layers, but what I found was that I wanted to write about how stress can impact the physical aspects of somebody's their being, how stress can manifest for somebody with sickle cell, how it can manifest in their body, and what happens as a result. So for my character Chantel, like I said, she has sickle cell, and stress is one of the triggers of people with sickle cell getting sick. So many hospitals will have a psychiatrist area, a psychologist, somebody to speak to have a discussion with, to try and work out what the problems are, what's going wrong, and how to make things better. So it's mainly talking therapy, mainly about talking, getting things out, and then finding strategies to help reduce the stress. But my main character, Chantal, found that she was getting stressed within her relationship. Now, it was due to the fact that sometimes he would be jealous, he would be possessive and controlling, abusive characteristics. And what she found was that she really struggled. He tried to isolate her to an extent. I'm not going to go too deeply into
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
he tried to isolate her, and she really struggled with all of this. She really struggled. It was a lot for her body to manage, and of course, a lot for her mind. So she unfortunately, at one point, had to be hospitalized due to the stress. When the doctors worked out that actually she was having crises quite frequently, they said, hold on a minute, let's get some therapy for you. Got some therapy, and then they really worked out what the root cause of the issues were. But this is how somebody with sickle cell might kind of show signs of stress through their body. But not everybody shows signs of stress through their body. Other people will have signs, they'll be, I don't know, maybe a bit more introvert,
Yeah, and some people could become aggressive. Some people could become they could isolate themselves from people all around them. So there's so many ways people can manifest abuse. When you definitely know that, oh, there's something going on in this relationship, and people are trying to figure out that what is it that is actually really going on in this relationship. So in life in general, let's just talk about, like, being in a relationship. What are the signs that you think people will see, that people will know that this person, whatever relationship they are in, they are experiencing a
Some
kind
kind
of,
of stress.
they're going to that kind of dark place within that
Yeah.
relationship?
Yeah, they might become withdrawn from their friends. They might become withdrawn. They might become very quiet. If they have children, they might no longer want to stand outside the playground chatting with some of the other parents. They
Yeah,
may
because they feel like, yeah, feel
yeah.
distressed and
I think even as women, our bodies change and they morph it morphs all the time. When we're in our 20s and all slim and everything's in place, if you like,
yeah,
it changes as you get older. It changes as you have children and as you put the work in and you go to the gym 24/7. But it changes. You develop. You get larger in certain areas. Um, and some people will look in the mirror and don't recognize themselves. They don't recognize the person that they are. This will affect intimacy with your partner. You may no longer want to be touched by your partner, even though your partner might tell you you're beautiful. Flattery can be everything to somebody, but to a particular person, if they're feeling that they look in the mirror and maybe they're suffering with body dysmorphia and they don't feel beautiful, they don't feel sexy, they don't feel that they are the person that they used to be, and their partner might not want them anymore. But often this is not the case. But the reality is, many women go through this, and you have to think about, when women have babies, you know, they go through the, kind of the problems that they have after having their children. They kind of think, oh, I'm just really tired. They're tired all the time because they're not sleeping properly. You know, I think it's really important that when you're in a situation and you feel low and you don't feel yourself, that you must at least talk to your friends. Try your best to talk to your partner, because without communication there is nothing. And so I really wanted to express this in Blossom Tree, that my main character was able to talk to her bona fide friends. She was able to talk to them, and they kept her sane throughout all the things that she was going through.
yeah.
So I would
So,
urge.
so, so, Sharon, I believe that with the book, the way you were talking about within Blossom Tree, that these are kind of tips that people will see and how you can deal. So that's what the book is really going to do for people out there. Now, if you get a copy of the book Blossom Tree and to read, the advantage of getting it is that you can get those little tips, and you're really seeing somebody's life, living out their life experiences through the book. And then you can learn from those little tips to say, like, look, don't get isolated, talk with friends. So as women, let us just chat a little bit about how us as women we talk. Do we talk to ourselves? Do we share things within ourselves? Do we really tell ourselves the things that troubles our heart? Do you think women do that?
Do you know what? I think women do. I've got a set of beautiful friends, and we talk about all kinds of things. And we talk about, it's almost like, we've got a program here in the UK called Loose Women. And it's almost like women sitting around talking about the things that they go through on a day-to-day basis. And that's what I experience with my friends. So, if we say to each other, well, what's the menopause like, and what are those experiences going to be like, and start having discussions about what that could mean, and if anybody's experiencing symptoms. So it's really good, so that you don't feel that you're alone, because many times we do feel that we're alone if we keep quiet. But don't keep quiet about certain things. If your periods are stopping or they're slowing down, or if your boobs are aching or something like that, you want to be able to talk to people who are close to you, who will advise you and guide you and kind of support you through whatever process you're going through whatever you go through. But I think it's really important. If you don't feel that you can speak to your partner about it, maybe a third person coming in to have that discussion, like a relationship counselor, might be able to help the flow of communication within the relationship. But I think as women, we should talk to each other. We shouldn't feel isolated. But not everybody is as fortunate. Some people are very, very much more isolated. I was watching a series on Netflix called
Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is where this woman, she's kind of struggling through life. She's kind of dealing with an abusive partner. He's emotionally abusive, but she's worried that it will turn into a physical abuse.
Yeah.
Uh, but I never once throughout really see her have a great connection with another woman. She makes connections, but they're not on solid ground. They're more
On
kind of,
solid grounds. Yeah.
yeah, they're more kind of, this is what's happened. It's just by chance she's made a connection. But I
Mm.
think, I think it's really important that we just try and hold on to the friends that we have, because you never know when you're going to need them. And as we get older and we go through life changing experiences, we want to know that we are still supported and we can talk about things. The minute you start not talking about it is when it becomes a bigger issue.
Exactly, especially when you really can't and I know women talk, but at the same time I know we don't talk as well. I think so. I believe we do talk, with the chat, but I still feel that sometimes women, we can we say the things we want people to see, not what is really troubling us. I think sometimes we do that, that some women just say what they want people to see about them, or they
Yeah.
don't want to say, oh, this is it. And it could be just, it doesn't, I feel that it doesn't really have to be whether they're ashamed of it. It's just had to do with, sometimes, we all have, I don't know, do you watch this Keeping Up with Your Parents?
No, not so much.
It's actually a UK daytime
I think,
program.
yeah, yeah, I think so. I've seen it before. Yeah.
I love her so much. If you really need a phone time, and I think that is what Blossom Tree is really going to do. It's just like watching what do I call it, Keeping Up Appearance, because you just keep smiling, you're laughing, and you're learning.
Yeah.
So I believe that the book is interesting. Is you get an orgasm within the book.
Yeah.
That's an added bonus to it.
That's right.
Because it's going to be interesting, it's going to be fun. You're going to learn from that. You're going to be able to share the story with other women and share the experiences with other women. So it's a book that I just think people really need to go and grab and read, and see. And even if it's just something, some women can come together, so like 4 or 5 women, and have like a round table conversation about the book.
Yeah.
Get each
And
person to read one of the chapters. Get one of your friends to read each chapters, and do like a girly night and talk about the book all night. That will be an interesting thing.
and
So
the thing
today,
is, I have
yeah,
had I have had people come back to me to say, yes, they relate to some of the elements within the book. And I think, often there are certain areas within the book where my main character experiences fear. And many times people don't always want to show that they have fear, or
yeah,
that they're feeling anxious,
yeah,
or that, there's some kind of anxiety or anything.
yeah,
We don't always want to show it. And maybe to our nearest and dearest, they might see it. But to people who are outside the outside world,
yeah,
smiling. We're smiling
yeah.
because this is the front that we want to put on for
Yeah, that
everything.
was what I was saying. That
Yeah,
is the front you want to put on.
yeah,
That is what you want people to see, and I would say it mostly, it might not be a sign of weakness. It's just, you don't want to be in that kind of a vulnerability within
yeah,
yourself, and you feel that I'm just going to stay strong. And
yeah,
we all deal with things quite differently, and that could be just they feel that's the best way they can deal with it.
yeah.
Do you think African women do talk to each other?
Yes. Um, I think within my circle, I believe we all talk, we all have conversations. But again, many people still put on this front, many people are still reserved,
Yeah,
having that stiff upper lip. not communicating our innermost feelings, the fears and the anxieties that we have. We tend to do that sometimes. And maybe it's because if we actually say the words, then it means it's true.
Yeah,
Whereas,
that could be another thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Now, the way we're talking about mental health within a relationship. Now, when we talk about population of African women, uh, what kind of percentage would you say are dealing with mental health at this point in time? There was a time I would say just very few, but I think the numbers are growing.
absolutely. But I think also it's not taboo anymore.
Yeah.
We can say, I
You
feel
can talk about
depressed.
it now. Mm,
We can tell our doctor, I feel low. I
mm,
mean, they might be quick to say antidepressants, but we can say to them, we feel low, and they
mm,
might suggest some therapy,
mm.
and I think that's the way forward. It's no
Yeah.
longer taboo. There's nothing wrong with having relationship counseling or individual counseling, which will help you identify strategies to move forward, to move from your place of lowness to moving forward. When we're unhappy, everybody in the household is unhappy. It has an
Mhm,
effect on our children. It
mhm,
has an effect on our partners. They then begin to maybe ask questions, but the more we push away, is the more they'll stay away. So
yeah.
we have to, in order, we have to hope that they understand us.
Mhm,
Many women going through the menopause are probably in a situation where they don't want to necessarily be touched anymore, and
mhm,
they want to feel that they are beautiful, but they just can't see it or feel it or experience it because they're not, and they're having the hot flushes. And these are things to come for many women in the future. It's something that we have to consider in the next stage of our lives, and how will that impact our mental health? But it's also for society to understand some of the things that women go through, for society to understand, for our employers to understand if we need the window open for a quick minute, or if we have to start a little bit later because we're not able to sleep because of the menopause or whatever not.
yeah.
And I mean, though I'm not going through that stage at the moment, but I know
Yeah. Now,
that it will be coming up at some point in the future.
at some point in future. So I'm going to get you to keep that thought a little bit, and then just to get you to you know as like a word of advice to women out there that might be experiencing mental health issue, either within their relationship, because we're talking about within a relationship today, or outside relationship. What could trigger it? We know that abusive relationship can trigger it. We know that when you're in a relationship that you're not happy, it could trigger it. We know when you're in a relationship that you're not comfortable, or you are being sexually abused in that relationship, because there's two people that are sexually abused in a relationship, or mentally or physically or financially abused in a relationship. So it could be so many things. It could be just people making you feel less important, making you feel unloved, or having a relationship with a partner that has multiple sex partners that you can't even bear to count, like, oh, this is it. So it could be so many reasons that women end up
So
having a mental health.
yeah, um,
So I would, yeah, sorry. So I'm going to get you to just give your final word out there, just to say to people, to say to them, what is your final word to women? And knowing that getting the book Blossom Tree, really, it's really not because you wrote the book, but it's just because of what the book stands for and why it is important for, so people to go out there and read and see what it can do for them.
Sure. So, maybe when it comes to triggers, we have to postnatal depression. It could be you've just had a baby. It could be, maybe financial reasons that there's an issue and it becomes a mental health problem within the relationship. You start to develop maybe anxiety or depression. It could be employment. What if you're really stressed at work and you bring that stress home? That stress then filters out within your family. Many times we bring some of our work home and we're all working from home now. So the stress is here and it doesn't go away because we don't have that kind of cutoff where we're making our journey home. So I would encourage people to definitely think about buying Blossom Tree, because there are some strategies in there, that Chantel used to move forward, to find a better place, to find happiness, to find something in life that was for her and not something that was against her. Um, you know, I would also encourage you to, if you or any of your friends that you know are going through something and you know that you can't help them to fix it, recommend that they go to their doctors, recommend that they maybe find a therapist and maybe escort them, go with them, sit in the car if you have to, sit outside while they have somebody to talk to openly, honestly, and frankly. Because without talking about what's going wrong, how can you ever fix it? How can you ever find a solution? So I would definitely urge you to do so. And like I said, my main character, because she was having so many stressful episodes and they turned into sickle cell crises where she ended up in hospital, she had therapy and the therapist really helped her to identify what the triggers were. And as soon as she knew what the triggers were, she worked to making sure that her health was far more improved than it had been while she was in the relationship. So,
Thank you so much for that. It's really a delight to always hear you, and it's a delight to have you every week now. It's like I should be having you every week, and we'll be talking. And I know there's going to be other books and things that you're going to get to do. We're going to get to talk about. And thank you for joining us tonight. But before you go, I'm just going to thank you for joining us tonight, and I'm hoping that next week we have something more that we're going to be talking about as well. What do you remind me? What are we talking about next week?
next week we are talking about never losing your essence.
Yeah.
Within
But
Never Losing Your Essence, I'm going to give away a copy of my book, Blossom Tree.
wow, that would be
Please listen.
fantastic. So guys, you have to join us last week Thursday. So now you know now everyone that you need to join us next week Thursday. We're going to have a giveaway. We're going to have a giveaway for next week. So you have to just figure out the time to join us next Thursday. It's 28th of this month, 28th of October, and our usual time between 7 and 7:30. We should start at 7. We put it out there when we're starting, but mostly we will be starting around 7 p.m. We're a little bit late today, but we will be starting around 7 p.m. on the 28th. And don't forget to join us. Tell your friends because there's going to be a giveaway. You're going to get a giveaway. So you don't want to miss that. You don't want to. I'm excited down. I didn't know she has something so much planned for us to get that kind of a giveaway. A signed copy of Blossom Tree from the author herself. So we've had today, it's about mental health. And we know that there's a lot of issues around mental health, not just for parents, not just for couples, not just for women, not just for men, not just for young people. It's for everyone. It is important to us that we should start taking care of our mental health. It is important that we take care of ourselves in any relationship that we have. If you are in a relationship and you feel that you're being treated less than you want to be treated, it is time for you to either walk away from that relationship or you can get a book and read. Start reading a book. Don't forget about the relationship for a while. Go and pick up Blossom Tree and read. Hopefully, by the time you finish reading Blossom Tree, your man will be coming running back to you. So you can hold me for that. Okay, thank you guys for watching us tonight. It's exciting. And thanks to our guest, our author of the month, Sharon Fevrier. Did I get that right now? Wow. She's going. So I didn't actually practice it so much, but I think I'm just getting to slow down rather than just to say it, just to slow down and
That's
think
right.
about it. So for my audience, people that just love watching us, love reading books, please share this when you watch it. Tell a friend about it. Don't forget 28th of October next week, Thursday, around 7 p.m. We will be live broadcasting again and talking to our author of the month, Sharon Fevrier, the author of the book Blossom Tree. So thanks for watching and good night from me, Susanna Olatunji Kamolafe. Good talking to you all. Bye. Bye.